I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. A police response to a familiar Palm Coast address ends up with a very different outcome than in the past, Rich Petchke reports.
Police say they have been called to the Carlson Court home nearly 90 times over the past year, and the call for service on Tuesday was about a verbal disturbance. When officers arrived, they found there was no disturbance, but instead, they discovered the homeowner, identified as Julius Calloway, had been using narcotics, and methamphetamine was found in the home. An investigation found that Calloway had been allowing people to stay with him in exchange for drugs. As one of his house guests, identified as Erica Bertha, was leaving the home, she was busted for drug possession with intent to sell. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Rich Petchke.
This portion of WNZF Local News, a service of the Daytona Beach International Airport. Fly to the Big Apple in a New York minute on JetBlue from the Daytona Beach International Airport.
We really want folks to have a kit.
And not just for a day. Flagler County Emergency Management Chief Jonathan Lord says folks need to be prepared for at least 5 days in the event of an emergency, with hurricane season set to start tomorrow.
The old adage has always been 3 days, have an emergency supply kit for 3 days, but this community knows extremely well 3 days wasn't even probably a quarter or a third of the time that we were without power at home.
Last year, Flagler County saw significant damage to its electrical infrastructure in storms, but Lord points out a silver lining.
A lot of those old poles get replaced with the newer, stronger poles. A lot of the trees that came down and landed on lines were down and they have not grown back.
Your kits should include things like batteries, flashlights, radios, food, water, clothing, and enough of any medications you may take to get you through. Lord recommends you build your kit during the state's disaster preparedness sales tax holiday that runs from June 1st through the 7th. He says you can save some big bucks, especially if your purchase includes a generator. Palm Coast City Council will interview all 3 applicants Monday who are running to fill out the 6 months remaining in Councilman Steve Nobile's term. John Arking has more.
Nobile stepped down from his seat so he could move to Tampa with his family. Mayor Melissa Holland proposed open interviews of all 3 during a short special meeting on Tuesday. The city received just 4 applications, likely due to the short nature of the term. 1 was disqualified. The 3 remaining candidates are 66-year-old retiree Charles Johnson, who's lived in Palm Coast since 1998, 46-year-old attorney Vincent Lyon, and 68-year-old Robert Thomasy, a retired electrician who also spent 28 years as a volunteer firefighter, 6 of them as chief. Whoever is selected by council will be sworn in June 19th. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
Marineland Dolphin Adventure is celebrating 80 years, and they're celebrating today with the reopening of the historic arch entrance. Gary Inks is the vice president and general manager of Marineland.
We're going to open up the arch, the historic arch that's been closed for over 15 years now. Will once again be an entrance where folks can come and take their pictures by the iconic rock there and stick your head through the rock and make a history happen today.
Marineland Dolphin Adventure is celebrating 80 years with great festivities throughout the month of June, including this Saturday with Bernie the Dolphin Night. Bernie the Dolphin is a movie that was filmed at Marineland this past winter.
And it's going to premiere December the 14th in theaters countrywide and worldwide. Bernie the Dolphin is an incredible family movie with our star, Ake, who happens to be the dolphin at Marineland, who is the feature star. So the children's stars from the movie will be appearing here on Saturday night as part of our 80 years of animal love and care celebration every Saturday night, the month of June.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Carroll.
A familiar face will be welcoming students back to Rimfire Elementary School next year. Lashakia Moore is taking over as principal for Barbara Salvo-Pakic, who's retiring June 15th. Moore was an educator at Rimfire for more than a decade, but took a job in the district office last year as a curriculum specialist. She's only the 3rd principal in the school's history. Superintendent Jim Tager called Moore a dynamic instructional leader with exceptional education knowledge and interpersonal skills. Moore says she's excited to reconnect with her Roadrunner family and encourages parents, educators, and staff to stop by and see her this summer. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.